I'm the luckiest person I've ever met, and 3 times I had close calls, and the scariest was HSV-1 encephalitis, March 12th, 2012. Hi, this is Paul Greiner. I'd like to tell you a little bit of a story. What happened in March 2012, and I was brought here a second time on the 14th to the emergency room, Henrico Doctors West on Parham Road in Henrico, Virginia. And I was supposed to be down at this 12-hour Sebring race on the 16th. On the 15th, I was diagnosed with encephalitis, and then when a spinal tap was done, rushed to a lab. It came back positive, HSV-1, CSF, DNA came back positive, and a real race was on to save my life. And I've got to thank Henrico Doctors, especially Dr. Thurston, for doing a great job, and more will come. The first time I was brought into the emergency room at Henrico Doctors on Parham, I was originally presumed as having viral gastroenteritis and was released. The conditions worsened and I was brought back into the emergency room on March 14th. I was supposed to catch a flight by myself on March 15th to Orlando, Florida, and drive down to the Sebring race early Friday morning for that weekend. If I was down there by myself, I probably would have been in the 70% untreated mortality rate. HSV-1 encephalitis is rare, 2 to 3 or a little bit more per million in the US, and has a rapid death rate, usually within 2 weeks, caused by inflammation of the brain. Even with early starting treatment, aciclovir, the death rate is still 20 to 30%, and 40% of survivors are either committed or mentally disabled. Tests were being done by the hour, and when HSV-1 CSF DNA was positive, all antibiotics were discontinued except for aciclovir, which was the most effective and was continued for a total of 14 days. The first 4 days I was in intensive care and had a fantastic around-the-clock care led by Dr. Thurston, Dr. Quirk, Dr. Boyce, Dr. Risk, and Dr. Shook. Many RNs and LPNs work hard, and after 4 days, I was released to general care and then released to rehab. Everyone was hoping for memory recovery, so I would not have been permanently cared for or become mentally or medically disabled. After 2 weeks of speech therapy, I was able to connect 3 to 4 sentences into a verbal paragraph that was meaningful. I was on short-term disability for the month of April and allowed to return back to my information technology job at Anthem in May for only half days. After June, Dr. Thurston told me, push the brain, especially engage the memory as much as possible. After 6 months, Dr. Peck had grilled me for 3+ hours of memory tests and arrived at a conclusion of 2% or so permanent memory loss, but to me it feels more like 12%. There are permanent side effects, and I've had different body pain cycles occur once or twice per year. Things like this have never happened in the past, and I was always athletic and will continue to do things like read useful information for the U.S. Medical Library located up in Bethesda, Maryland, log into NCBI, which is the National Center for Biotechnology Information, for useful papers, continue to believe in pushing the memory side of the brain to help keep Alzheimer's from invading. My grandfather died of Alzheimer's, so there is a link, and the probability is higher with HSV-1 encephalitis survivors. So far this year, I've been at Stowe, Vermont for a long weekend of skiing. I will be at Beaver Creek and Vail the week of International Encephalitis Day, February 22nd. A long weekend in March in Snowshoe, West Virginia will end the ski season. The rest of this year I'll be at the national and regional events for the BMW Motorcycle Owners of America and the International Mountain Bicycle Association. Keep your body in shape and your mind will follow. Keep your body in shape and your mind will follow. My first close call, I suffered a fractured skull and concussion as a toddler by falling off the top of a bunk bed at my grandmother's house and hitting the radiator